For more than a year, the Department of Workforce Solutions knew it had problems of overpaying unemployment money, and thieves were stealing identities to get unemployment checks.
Still, they tried to recover what they claimed was owed to them. Target 7's John Cardinelli shows us one way they were trying to recoup their losses.
This right here is a lien, and it can be placed on any of your property and your home. It means someone is claiming you owe them money, and it could prevent you from selling your home. In many cases, you won't know about it until you try to close the deal or refinance. Target 7 found Workforce Solutions put thousands of liens on people's property during the pandemic, claiming they owed them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Starla Hunter got this notice in the mail that she was on the hook.
Yeah, I freaked out. I came running out to my dad. I was like, Dad, oh my God, they're saying I owe $10,500.
The Department of Workforce Solutions was wanting that money, and according to this notice, if she didn't pay it, they threatened to claim a right to her home and other property.
It was crazy. Like, I was losing everything. I'm living with my dad again.
It's all because she filed for unemployment during the pandemic, and through no fault of Starla's, she was overpaid.
So if they give you money, I mean, people are going to take it, especially during this hard time.
According to this report, state officials estimate that more than $250 million of unemployment money was overpaid to people or given to thieves who stole identities. Despite knowing this, during the pandemic, the Department of Workforce Solutions was putting liens on people's property and homes. They did this 3,626 times. And that's just in Bernalillo County. Target 7 searched through all of those liens filed by Workforce Solutions during the pandemic and went door to door. We found this man, Ricky. He got one of them. He believes someone hacked into his Workforce Solutions account and was withdrawing money.
We were fortunate enough to get through the pandemic, in our new home, and now we're being threatened to have a lien put on our new home.
This is not a new process. Workforce Solutions has been issuing liens for decades, long before the pandemic, mostly because
it's an automated process for the most part.
Marshall Ray was the attorney for Workforce Solutions for 5 years. He says people get notices that they owe money, and if they don't respond, a computer determines a lien should be issued.
The system knows, and it triggers an administrative process that eventually generates notice of lien that then comes out to me as a claimant, and it's very scary.
He says that system was not ready to handle the additional unemployment money the feds were giving out during the pandemic, nor the hundreds of thousands of claims.
So they come up with systems that are kind of designed in the beginning to pay first and ask questions later.
Target 7 has learned that the state auditor, Brian Colon, knew this was going to be an issue more than a year ago.
Well, we found out it was a substantial problem.
His office got hundreds of calls from people, so he had warned Workforce Solutions a year ago. But nothing changed. Liens were still put on people's property.
And if anybody doesn't believe it was a crisis, they haven't talked to their neighbors. Because if you talk to the folks down your street, you'll find a couple who've been impacted by this.
I think there are some things that we can certainly reflect on that we need to tighten up.
Ricky Cerna took over the problem-plagued department a couple of months ago when its leader resigned. He says the department was stopping the collections process whenever someone appealed. But many times people didn't know they needed to appeal because they never received or looked at a notice in the mail.
We certainly want to recoup any improper payments that were made, but at the same time, we don't want to become an agency that unnecessarily puts New Mexicans through a hardship, right? Especially after what we've all been through after so many months.
Cerna says the process is being reviewed, and they are releasing liens where people are getting overpaid and or are victims of fraud.
We certainly can do things better.
There were some lessons learned. And I think there were adjustments made.
Starla Hunter was able to avoid having a lien put on her property, but it took a lot of work. She kept all of these documents and even had to go before a judge. She says that all could have been avoided.
Nobody should have to pay back that money. If they give it out, and they give it to wrong people, that's their fault. That's not our fault.
And recently, the federal government said anyone who was overpaid like Starla can apply for a waiver and will not have to pay that money back. The Bernalillo County clerk tells us in recent weeks, Workforce Solutions has been working with her office to release hundreds of those liens. For Target 7, I'm John Cardinelli.
The number of liens issued by Workforce Solutions during the pandemic increased 25%. As for fixing the process, they tell us more reviews will happen before liens are issued.